Hi everyone, welcome back. This is part two of Pickleball Singles, how to play singles and win, especially for seniors. Okay, we're going to be looking at the net game in singles, the singles shot arsenal for seniors, competitive edge in tournament singles, and then match play tournaments and long-term success. So let's just get down to it. Right, let's look at the net game in singles. Right, when we think of pickleball, we often picture doubles players locked in dink battles at the kitchen line, but singles is very different. Net play is less constant, but when you choose the right moment to move forward, you can win matches. For seniors, the net can feel intimidating at first. There's more ground to cover if you're past. But here's the truth: learning how and when to come forward in singles is one of the smartest ways to save energy, shorten points, and put pressure on your opponent. So let's look at this. Let's look at the net not as a danger zone, but as an opportunity zone. So, why is the net so powerful in singles play? Well, when you're at the net, there are two major advantages. One, angles. You can volley sharp angles that are impossible from the baseline. Two, pressure. Your opponent feels rushed, and this often forces them into making errors. The net turns defense into offense instantly, and unlike endless baseline rallies, it gives you a chance to end the points sooner. Right, choosing the right time to come forward. Right, in singles, charging the net recklessly is a recipe for frustration, a recipe for disaster indeed. You want to pick your moments. So, some great times for seniors to approach: after a deep return that pushes your opponent back, when your opponent gives you a short ball, step in and close. After hitting a strong passing shot that leaves them scrambling, and following a well placed drop shot that forces them to lift the ball up. These moments tip the balance in your favor. Don't come in because you want to, come in because you've earned it. Right, volleying skills for singles. Once you're at the net, volleys are your bread and butter. But unlike doubles, you won't be dinking cross court forever. Instead, singles volleys are about controlling pace and direction. So the key volley tips in singles are compact swings, no big wind ups, keep paddle out in front, aim for depth, drive volleys deep to keep your opponent pinned down, change angles, surprise with a short angle when they least expect it, and stay balanced. Bend your knees, not your back, to stay steady. The goal isn't really to hit winners with every volley, it's to maintain pressure on your opponent until that right opening appears that you can just put it away. Now, passing shots, you've got to expect them and you've got to respect them, right? The moment you come forward, your opponent will think, can I pass them? You'll face two main passing attempts: drives down the line or cross court, and secondly, lobs over your head. Now, how do you handle these? Right, against drives, stay low, paddle in front, and trust your reflexes. Often, just blocking the ball back deep is enough. Against lobs, anticipate early. Many seniors prefer to let lobs bounce, run around it, and then reset it rather than chasing overheads. That's perfectly fine. Okay. And now a word about safety. Don't go backwards for a lob. If a lob is going way over your head, don't go backwards. You can shuffle back sideways, but don't go backwards. If you need to, run around and hit a reset shot. Don't fear passing shots, okay? They're part of the game. And when you defend well, your opponent often gets discouraged from trying again. So passing shots are going to go past you. Your opponent will hit winners on passing shots. It's just part of the game. Just suck it up and make it part of your strategy. Right. What about taking risks at the net? Right. The net is where risks pay off big, right? So you can sneak forward after a solid return to surprise them. You can do an angle volley to open space when they expect depth. You can put in an occasional drop volley to bring them forward. Yes, you might get past, but if you never take these risks, your opponent will stay comfortable at the baseline. For seniors, even one or two bold net plays per game can swing the momentum of the whole game. Again, we talked about this before, but mid-match tactical adjustments, okay? Sometimes your net strategy won't work immediately. Maybe your opponent is threading passing shots, or maybe their lob is just fantastic. Don't stubbornly keep charging into the net. Switch tactics quickly. If they're passing consistently, stay back longer and rally until you create a better chance. If their lob keeps winning, back up a step when you approach to give yourself time. If you're too passive at the net, step closer to cut off angles earlier. Singles is about flexibility. We know this. We've talked about this in the previous episode. Seniors who adjust mid-match avoid getting stuck in losing patterns. So I'll give you an example from me, from Paddy. I did win a gold medal at the English National Singles Championships. Don't ask me how. It's my first tournament I entered and I managed to do it. Now, I was in the final, best of three games, and I knew I had to win the first game. I just knew in my bones. The guy I was playing, Nigel, who is now a friend of mine, was so consistent and was hitting it deep on my backhand. It was 8-8 in the first game in this final, and I knew I had to win. He was being so consistent, I knew he would wear me down. And he was getting better and better at the longer rallies, and I was getting more and more angry with myself that I wasn't getting the ball back properly. So I changed tactic and decided to come to the net after 3 to 4 ground strokes in the rally. This gave Nigel a different shape to look at, okay? And I won the next 3 points, and I won the game 11-8. The next game, I mixed things up even more and won the next game 11-5 to win the gold, which I was absolutely delighted about. I'm not, please don't think I'm saying this in a braggy way. It's just to give you an idea of what a great idea it is sometimes to just change your tactics, offer a different shape to your opponent. Okay, let's move on. Breathing and focus at the kitchen line. The net is an adrenaline zone, right? Your heart rate goes up, your nerves kick in. That's why breathing resets are critical. Before you move forward, exhale slowly. It relaxes your grip and steadies your hands. And once you're up there, distractions multiply. Maybe you fear getting past. Maybe the crowd is watching. Anchor your focus with a cue. Say to yourself, possibly if it helps, paddle ready, or something like low and steady. These simple reminders keep you sharp under pressure. Use timeouts. We talked about this in the last episode. If you are starting to go down, if you're losing 3 or 4 points in a row, timeout straight away. Don't wait. Don't keep your timeout for the end of the game, right? Use the break to slow your breathing. Reflect. Look, am I approaching too soon or too late? Am I volleying not well enough? Decide on a new strategy. A short pause can turn net play from a liability into a weapon again. So the psychological edge of net play, right? It means you're coming forward, you're saying to your opponent, I'm not just surviving, I'm in charge. So if you're able to come in, put away volleys or put in deep volleys to keep the pressure up, that really is giving a message. So let's wrap up about the net game in singles. Choose the right moment. Volley with control. Respect passing shots, they're going to happen against you. Take calculated risks. Adjust quickly. Use breathing, routines, and timeouts when you need to. Master the net, and you'll shorten points, you'll conserve energy, and put constant pressure on your opponent. Very good. Now, let's move on and look at the shot arsenal in singles for seniors. Right, you don't need 20 different shots to win matches. What you need is a solid, reliable toolkit of essential strokes that we'll go through. Okay, you don't have to hit harder than your opponent. You just need to place the ball smarter and keep them off balance. So let's look at these shots. The deep serve. When you serve, right, let's reinforce this again and again. Deep, purposeful serve is pretty essential, right? This should be your default serve. It pushes your opponent back, giving you more time. It reduces their angles for the return. It sets you up for your third shot, right? Look at the risk variation. Occasionally aim for a wide serve that hugs the sideline. Even if you miss by an inch or two, sometimes the reward, pulling them away off court, is worth it. And also it makes them think about what kind of serve is coming at them. They're not getting used to the same serve each time. Remember your serving routine. We talked about this, right? Breathe, bounce, call the score, visualize, then serve. A calm routine seriously, seriously helps. The deep return, in Paddy's opinion, the most important shot of singles rallies, right? The deep return. You have to get this return deep. I missed out on a finals place in the international championships that I was in because I was unable to return deep. All of my returns were sort of going just beyond the non-volley zone line, and the guy came in. He just put it into space, and I was scrambling, and I lost the match. So we learn these lessons. The deep return. The key targets are deep and middle, deep to the backhand, or even wide cross court. Okay, every now and again you might want to surprise them with a down the line return when your opponent is expecting a cross court, but don't forget, hit that return deep, please. You know, there's some people say, oh well, you know, I'll hit a gentle drop return, bring them to the net. Look, you have to hit that shot really, really well for it to bring you bonuses. So just hit it deep, hit it long, hit it deep. The third shot, drive or drop. Right, single strategy, it does often hinge on the third shot. It depends how the ball comes to you. It depends whether you can drive it or drop it or cut it. If you drive it, hit it firm and deep if their return is short or weak. Okay, if you're dropped, a soft arching ball that lands in the kitchen pulls them forward. If you hit a drop third shot, it will bring them forward into the nest. If you hit a third shot drop, this will bring them forward to the net. Right, again, risk variation. Generally speaking, you want to hit your third shot into the open space rather than straight back at them. Into the open space, make them run into that space, and then you can take charge of the rally. The passing shot. When your opponent comes forward, the passing shot is your main weapon, basically. We don't need, as seniors, we don't need blazing speed, right? Just good placement. Two types of passing shot, down the line, simple, effective, okay? Especially if they leave it open, or a cross court angle, pulls them far wide and out of position. Again, risk variation. You could mix in a fake, shape your paddle like you're going cross court, then flick down the line. Young opponents, this works pretty well against them quite a lot. Passing shots require confidence, but with practice, they give you the ability to punish premature net returns. The lob. Okay, it feels risky, but it can be good. Instead of grinding in a long rally, float a high lob deep into the corner. Opponents who aren't comfortable overhead will give you these free points. So, tips for seniors on the lob: use lobs sparingly so they are a surprise. Aim deep. Short lobs just get put away. But it's best used when your opponent is hugging the net. I did play singles against a chap. He was 6'8" and he was coming to the net all the time. And I was able to lob him. I just put it up high. And I don't think he was used to being lobbed, so I managed to beat him on that. If you try three lobs and then you miss one, that's okay. But generally speaking, don't make it your main arsenal because people can adapt to lobs. The drop shot. All right. As I mentioned before, it can be a good shot, especially if your opponent is way at the back of the court. But don't do it all the time, would be my suggestion. The volley, as we've said, at the net, volleys are your finishing tool. You can either put away a winner or you can volley it deep into space and make them run, and then you can put away the next one. Compact swings, paddle out front, knees bent, you know what to do. Again, risk variation. Instead of always volleying deep, sometimes, carve a sharp angle. Even if you miss once or twice, the surprise factor will win more points in the long run. The defensive reset. Not every shot needs to be aggressive. Sometimes you're under pressure and need to reset. Float a soft, high ball deep into the middle to buy time. For seniors, this is vital. Resets give you a moment to breathe, recover to the center and refocus. It's not flashy, but it keeps you in the point. And if you've just been beaten 3 rallies in a row, a defensive reset can change momentum enough to warrant avoiding a timeout. So look at your reset. So combine the shots in creating your arsenal, okay? Serve wide, third shot into open space possibly, or a deep return, step in, a drop shot possibly, lob, opponent runs back, come in, volley, short angle at the net. So use the combination of these shots in your arsenal and adjust your arsenal mid-match. Sometimes your favorite shots just won't click. That's fine. You can change tactics quickly. If your drop shots aren't working, switch to deeper drives. If passing shots keep missing, try lobs instead. If your volleys feel shaky, reset more until you're steadier. Flexibility wins singles matches. And let's not forget about that breathing and that focus and the routines. Breathe before risky shots. Routines before serving and return make your core weapons automatic. Focus cues, some people like this, they have in their mind deep middle or angle wide, and this helps them to anchor attention. Even if the best arsenal of your shots falls apart, if the mind isn't calm, even the best arsenal of all your shots falls apart if your mind isn't calm and sharp. Okay, so time out. When in doubt, use a timeout. We talked about this quite a lot, okay? Use that time out. So let's wrap up on this. Right, Your singles arsenal doesn't need to be flashy. Deep serve and return, drive and drop, passing shots and lobs, drop shots and volleys, and resets when you need to. And these arsenal of shots will pay great dividends. Okay, now let's move on to the mental edge in competitive singles. When people talk about singles pickleball, they often focus on fitness, movement, shot making, but the biggest separator between players is not physical, it's mental. Competitive singles demands resilience, focus, and the ability to reset after pretty much every rally. For seniors, this is good news. We are good at this. We're a bit older. We have some life experience. You can often beat your opponents with composure, patience, and strategy. And that is why the mental game matters so much. The mental edge gives you composure under pressure, confidence in taking smart risks, the ability to change tactics quickly, and you can focus in long rallies. So building confidence through routine. Nerves often spike in singles, especially in tournaments. A missed serve, a bad fault, or a string of errors can spiral fast. That's why routines are your anchor. So have your serving routine, have your receiving routine, and between points, walk back calmly, have a reset, have a reset phrase in your head like next ball, keep it calm, do your breathing. Your breathing is your reset button, okay? You breathe before serving, after losing a point, during timeouts. Think of your breath as your built-in timeout, okay? Use it. So embrace risks without fear. The fear of mistakes, it holds many players back. A lot of players think, especially seniors, I'll just keep consistent and I'll let the guy make loads of mistakes. That doesn't really happen, honestly, in pickleball singles. These people play too safe. They're waiting for errors and end up being controlled instead of controlling. You must embrace calculated risks. So examples, serve wide at 9-9 instead of down the middle, trying a third shot into open space rather than straight back, pulling the trigger on a passing shot when your opponent camps at the net. Yes, you'll miss some, but mentally, risk-taking sends a powerful message. I'm not afraid of you. I'm in charge. Okay? Take those risks, calculated risks. So your tactical flexibility, you need to be switching gears quickly. Maybe you're down 2-7 because the long rallies aren't working. Your opponent's just more consistent than you. The mental edge comes from switching tactics. You could shorten rallies by coming forward more often. You can slow the pace with higher, softer shots. Change targets, attack the backhand instead of the forehand. Introduce variety, drops, lobs, slices to break rhythm. Flexibility keeps you mentally fresh and frustrates opponents who expect the same patterns. Timeouts, we talked about this all the time. Use them. If you start losing 3 to 4 points in a row, use them. You might be 10-2 down, you haven't used the timeout, use it. You never know. Those few extra points that you could get can get you through the round robin early part of the tournament, and you can still get to the quarter or semi-finals. Okay? Handling pressure and nerves. Pressure is natural. Like even the pros feel it. The mental edge isn't about eliminating nerves. It's about managing them. So focus small. Don't think about winning the game. Think about hitting this serve deep, right? Reset on your mistakes. Tell yourself next point after an error. Never look at your last bad point. Never do that, ever. Okay. Control the tempo. Walk slowly between points. Don't rush. Make the game move at your pace. Nerves are energy. Channeled properly, they make you sharper. Avoid distractions. Again, we talked about this. Combat this with reset phrases that some people say it helps them. You know, phrases such as recover middle, one ball at a time. That's a good one. Focus on the ball. Just look at the ball the whole time. Completely focus on that ball. Watch that ball onto your paddle. Routine habits. Keep the same actions between every point. These simple tricks make a huge difference. So using your experience, use your experience as a senior to your advantage. You've played sports games, maybe years of them, maybe for decades. That experience is a mental asset, right? Stay patient in long rallies. Remain calm when you're down in the score. Recognize patterns quickly. The wisdom is part of your mental edge. Don't underestimate it. Okay, let's just wrap up on this. The mental edge is the great equalizer in singles. Okay, so you got to remember these things. Routines anchor you in pressure moments. Breathing resets, keeps the body and mind calm. Calculated risks prevent predictability. Tactical flexibility lets you change momentum fast. Timeouts are gold, so use them. Distraction control keeps you steady. And remember, experience is strength. Patience and wisdom often beat raw power. So singles is not just a physical battle, it's a mental duel. So bear this all in mind. Okay, we're going to take a short break here to hear from our sponsor. Okay.